With a news update on WHTC Holland's Cool FM, I'm Gary Stevens. The voters in the Lakeshore community have spoken, and not even a recount has changed their voice. On Wednesday, the Allegan County Board of Canvassers held a special meeting in response to a recount petition for results of the May 5th ballot question put forth by Hopkins Public Schools. The district was seeking approval of a $110.5 million bond proposal, which would be paid off over a 26-year period, and officials said there would be no tax increase as a result if the measure passed. The preliminary vote count ended up in a tie, 1,091 votes for, 1,091 votes against, and the board's subsequent meeting after the election confirmed those numbers. A petition seeking a recount arrived at the county clerk's office 8 days following the vote, leading to this special meeting. Canvassers went through each ballot by hand to verify the vote, and this final combing resulted in no change in the totals, meaning the bond proposal was defeated. A majority of yes votes was needed to ratify the measure. Joblessness is down along the lakeshore and across the state, but the outlook isn't apparently too bright. According to numbers released yesterday by the Michigan Department of Technology Management and Budget, the not seasonally adjusted unemployment rate fell in all 18 major labor market areas by a median level of 0.5 percentage point, and in 78 of the state's 83 counties. Officials cite prominent labor force reductions as well as the number of payroll jobs rising as reasons for this trend. However, the number of established companies adding jobs has not been such a good thing over the last couple of years or so, according to Dr. Brian Long, Director of Supply Management Research with the Seidman College of Business at Grand Valley State University.
We are about near the bottom as far as job creation in the state of Michigan. And at this time, I have to say, the existing companies are not expanding. In fact, we were fifth in terms of the highest unemployment in the nation for a while. We're only 11th now, but for an industrial state like Michigan, that's not a very good record.
Locally, Ottawa County's unemployment rate stood at 3.4% in April, down 0.4 of a percentage point from March and 0.6 from a year ago. Allegan County's numbers were at 3.7% last month, 4.2% in March, and 4.7% a year ago. During the Tulip Time Festival, it was look but don't touch, the star of the show. Now that the tulip blossoms are just a memory, that prohibition no longer stands. Somewhat. Tomorrow morning, residents and visitors will get a chance to dig up tulip bulbs planted by municipal crews at 2 Holland locations, Centennial Park and Windmill Island Gardens. Beginning at 9 a.m., it's first come, first serve, with hopefuls needing to bring their own 5-gallon bucket, digging tools, gloves, and an Alexander Hamilton calling card, a $10 bill for each bucket. The money will help fund the Holland and Bloom urban beautification effort, according to Linda Hart, Executive Director of the Holland Area Visitors Bureau.
It's a great opportunity for residents and visitors to come back and, take some of our tulips home to plant them in their own yard. But it's also an opportunity for Holland and Bloom to continue to engage in the community and to support the community through various projects.
City crews have already dug up bulbs in other areas, including the tulip lanes and the tulip plantings at Window on the Waterfront for composting purposes. More than 500,000 fresh bulbs purchased by the city from the Netherlands will be planted this fall for blossoming next spring. An unnamed 21-year-old Saugatuck man is hospitalized after suffering serious injuries in a crash in Walker yesterday afternoon. Police say the incident occurred around 4 p.m. at the intersection of Wilson Avenue and Riverbend Drive when the man was turning left onto Wilson and didn't yield to a pickup truck. The pickup driver wasn't hurt. The crash remains under investigation. A 55-year-old Grand Haven man has received a second sentence stemming from an alleged sexual relationship with a 16-year-old special ed student in Ravenna Public Schools. Paul Maska was already behind bars for up to 18-plus years on federal child porn charges, and yesterday he was ordered to serve up to 15 years on state criminal sexual conduct counts, which will run concurrently with the federal sanction. Maska was arrested in February of 2025 and resigned from his position as a special ed teacher the same day. Will she or won't she? The governor isn't saying for the moment.
Whitmer says she is not going to be a presidential candidate in 2028 in a TV interview from the Mackinac Policy Conference, but she added, never say never to what she'll do when she's out of office.
I've got a lot of energy. I will be 55 when I leave office, so it is, I want to have impact. I want to do good work, but I'm also looking forward to taking a little bit of a break and thinking about it.
Whitmer adds that she didn't think she'd ever run for governor either. She says she does not want to be distracted by people talking about her seeking the presidency during the rest of her final year as governor. I'm Michael Arning.
Vice President Vance says that the United States is very close to finalizing an agreement with Iran, although several talking points remain. U.S. officials say the two sides have tentatively agreed to a 60-day extension of a ceasefire, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, and new talks on Iran's nuclear program. The proposed agreement of understanding still requires approval from President Trump and Iranian leaders, and Mr. Vance noted that negotiators are still going back and forth over issues related to Iran's nuclear capabilities. The situation has caused fuel prices to skyrocket around the world, impacting nearly everyone in some way, according to Republican Congressman Bill Heisinger of Holland.
Even though the U.S. is a net exporter and we've been doing more exploration and we're getting refineries online, all those things, it's still a world economy in a world marketplace when it comes to that oil. So we've got to get those straits open. And I've got confidence in Marco Rubio and others that are dealing with those negotiations.
The vice president added that while progress continues, it remains uncertain when the president will be ready to endorse the agreement. A comprehensive safety plan from Detroit Police has been released as the IndyCar Detroit Grand Prix starts with practice runs today. Detroit Police Assistant Chief, Franklin Hayes, says that officers will be responding quickly if they have any reports of teen takeovers coming on downtown this weekend.
I'm confident as we're working with our youth here in these public spaces as to how to govern themselves accordingly, that we won't have that issue, but we are prepared in the off event it does happen.
He says the plan will be to leverage technology to keep people safe throughout the weekend. The race is slated for Sunday afternoon. Yesterday, Grayson Rodriguez and 4 Los Angeles relievers teamed to allow 3 hits with 9 strikeouts as the visiting Angels defeated A.J. Hinch's Tigers at Comerica Park 7-1.
We had a guy or two on base, or we had the one inning where we late where we had multiple runners on base, but the hits after it weren't there. So obviously a tough day offensively to produce much.
Meanwhile, Davis Martin gave up just 2 hits with 5 strikeouts over 6 innings as the White Sox down the visiting Minnesota Twins 6-2.
I think it's anything that I'm doing different. I think it's a byproduct of the team doing a lot of good stuff together, and it's a good team to be a part of. It's a fun team, and it's exciting every start day, waking up knowing that you got a chance to win.
This evening, Detroit takes on the Pale Hose at Rate Field in Chicago, with coverage from Dan Dickerson at 7:15 p.m. on WHTC Holland's Cool FM. Chris Rea scattered 4 hits with 5 strikeouts over 5+ innings as Craig Counsell's Cubs beat the Pirates in Pittsburgh last night 7-2.
We did enough, and it wasn't necessarily pretty, but you got bullpen up in the 6th inning, and we made some good things happen.
Chicago meets the Cardinals in St. Louis this evening. Ali Camarillo's 3-run homer capped a 5-run Lansing 4th inning, which broke a 1-1 tie. And the Lugnuts went on to top the visiting West Michigan Whitecaps last night 6-1. The series at Jackson Field continues this evening. Get the latest news anytime at WHTC.com. That's a look at sports. I'm Gary Stevens.